Well, NFL attorneys want to move a wrongful death brain injury lawsuit filed by Phillip Adams' family to federal court. In 2021, Adams killed 6 people near Rock Hill before taking his own life. An autopsy found the 32-year-old NFL veteran had, quote, an unusually severe cause or case of the brain disease CTE. Lawyers for the Adams family expected the legal move, and they are fighting to keep the suit in South Carolina civil court. NFL attorneys filed their motion to move the case to federal court 1 week ago. Queen City News Chief Legal Analyst Khalif Rhodes joins us now to talk about this. And Khalif, what would it take to move this to federal court?
It's not hard. This is extremely simple. And this, as we mentioned in the lead-in, that's something that you would do in these types of cases. You want to file it in local court, in state court, and try to keep it there if you're the plaintiff. And the very first thing that you'll do if you're defendant is ask for removal. You are going to try to get the case removed as quick as you can in federal court because the process is extremely drawn out, it's extremely longer, extremely costly. And so that is a tactic that a number of defense counsel do in cases like this. And you got to remember, the NFL fought CTE on its face in the beginning. I mean, they denied that it even existed. It took probably 15 to 20 years of research and constant back and forth. My uncle, former NFL player, is part of that process. Played in the 80s. The NFL decided that, you know what, this is something that we don't even think exists. Then they had the $1 billion payout to recognize that, hey, we didn't do enough to let NFL players know the potential harms that can come from playing this game. So fighting, drawing it out, delay is the process for big companies. NFL is no different.
You know, it happened in 2015 when the NFL finalized the concussion settlement for that big payout. But could this case spark other settlements here for CTE?
What I can tell you is it would probably spark a number of conversations. Even outside of the settlement process, it taps into the handgun, or I should say gun legislation or restrictions that are out there. You see a lot of restrictions and people wanting to do them for background checks, for prior crimes, for background checks, for mental health issues. Now this is something that I think is on the radar for a number of individuals. I mean, this guy was being treated by the very doctor that he killed. He ended up killing 6 individuals there, but it was from the damage. His family is alleging that because the playing this game, this violent game that they say is out there, that's now created this harm to him that led to him creating harm to other people. And so while I think lawsuits may come sprinkle in down the road, what I do think will happen on a larger scale is that you will see some type of additional courses added on to ensure that people that may have suffered from CTE during their playing time may have restrictions. The problem is that you can't find out if they have it until you do the autopsy on the brain. Yeah. And so as science progresses, as technology progresses, and you have more ways to detect it, I think that's something that also will come out of this type of case, that when the NFL ultimately settles this case, because that's what's going to happen, when they ultimately settle the case, there will be some type of fund created to do further research to figure out how they can prevent things like this from happening in the future.
Yeah, it's certainly a tragic case of what happened in 2021 in South Carolina for sure. And also a lightning rod case for the NFL going forward. All right, Khalif, thanks.